Hey, it is 12 noon on Wednesday, which means it's time for this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. I'm John Chrismo, and this show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every single Wednesday helping you understand the technical side of the real estate industry. And something you may be struggling with right now is passing your real estate exam. Maybe you've already tried to take the exam and it feels like what you're doing to study for the exam isn't working. And it's tough. You're not alone. This is a tough exam. It's thousands of questions that they pull from, and how do you study for thousands of questions? Well, there's some tricks that we have up our sleeve that make the studying more efficient, more effective, to where you're not going to have to memorize everything that you learn in your pre-licensing course. And we call this system our pass first try strategy. Now, depending on whether you're completely a blank slate where you haven't learned any of this information yet, or you've already been taking the exam, you've got to basically do a self-diagnosis of where it is that you're at and what it is that you need to do, but you need to know the correct actions you need to take to study for this exam. The only guidance the state of Florida gives you is take the pre-licensing course, and you should have learned everything that's going to be on that exam at some extent, at some level in that pre-licensing course, depending on maybe where you took that course. Maybe you didn't. You should have, though. But regardless of whether you learn the information or not, you need to be able to not only remember that information, but now apply it in the context of the question it is that they're asking. That's what makes this a little trickier. These aren't just simple memorization questions. They're application-based questions that require you to apply that knowledge it is that you have. And that's what we've built our pass first try strategy around. Not just remembering that information, but being able to apply it in the context of the actual question. So if you're having any trouble studying for your exam, maybe you haven't taken your exam yet, but you're worried about whether or not you're going to be able to pass your exam, this is the show for you. We're going to talk about what it is that you should be doing to go through this, and maybe you've already done some of these parts and processes. Maybe you already took the pre-licensing course, maybe you've already done some studying, but now what studying do you need to do to really close that gap and get you to passing your exam? So that's what we're covering today. I'm John Chrisman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. You're watching Ask the Instructor.
You are watching
Ask the Instructor. Absorb the knowledge. Become the expert. And welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Chrisman. This show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. And what we're talking about today is studying to pass your real estate exam. And we've got this live here. So if you've got comments, if you've got questions, drop that in the chat and we will help answer your questions. Let us know what it is that you've done to study so far, what it is that you've been doing. And I'll let you know if that's a good way to study or if it's not so good of a way to study for your exam. So this is all focused around our pass first try strategy, which you can find details on this if you're looking for that after the show at passfirsttry.com. Now, the disclaimer with this is we can't guarantee you're going to pass your exam on the first try. We could, but it would be against Florida Real Estate Commission rules, so we can't. We can't say that you're going to pass after you do these things, but this is our recommended strategy. So if you're looking what you should do to study, these are the steps it is that you want to take. Now, you may or may not have already completed step one, and that's the pre-licensing course. Completing the pre-licensing course. That's your 63-hour course. And this is required by the Florida Real Estate Commission. So maybe you've already done that. This is all that's really required by the Florida Real Estate Commission as far as this goes. But the key thing here is that you're just learning the information. This is where you get that initial dosage of the information. But here's the catch with this pre-licensing course. So if you haven't already seen the FREC syllabus, the Florida Real Estate Commission syllabus, I highly recommend that you check that out. All of our exam prep tools have the FREC syllabus located in there somewhere, some way, shape, or form. But you're going to notice on the FREC syllabus that it'll specify that certain chapters are as much as 12% of the exam, while other chapters are just 1% of the exam. And now, yes, there's thousands of questions that they pull from, but they're pulling a certain amount of questions from each chapter. So The chapters that are 12%, that's brokerage activities and also the contract chapters. Those are both 12% of your exam, or together 24%, basically a quarter of your exam, versus there's a bunch of chapters that are just 1% of the exam. And what you'll notice going through your course, whether through the textbook or otherwise, that these 1% chapters, they do a lot of times have a lot of information on there. And there will be at least one question, really one question, not more than one question. It'll just be one question from that chapter. But what are they going to ask about? What is it? And when you go back to study this, you want to keep that in mind, that you don't need to remember everything in the course. Even in those 12% chapters, there's information that is far less likely to be on your exam, that isn't quite as important. It's maybe there so the information you're given is 100% correct and 100% accurate, but maybe those finer details aren't what the Florida Real Estate Commission is most concerned with. And that's the trick with this course. It's not about knowing everything that's in the course. It's only certain things that you need to know really well. You don't want to have a surface level knowledge of everything. It's certain details, certain facts, certain key points, certain terms, certain ideas you need to understand really well, but not everything in the course. And so that's what leads us into step 2 on our pass first try strategy, which is to reinforce or review the information. To focus on making sure that you have the most important key points, not everything, the most important key points reinforced. And what we recommend for this, it's my favorite study tool because it really kind of helps put your studying on autopilot, and that's our MP3 audio review. And that's available at mp3audioreview.com. Passfirsttry.com also has a link directly to that. And so why this is so important, and this MP3 auto review, this is about 5 hours. So this is about 5 hours of a condensed breakdown. In case you already have some sort of audio review, maybe from some other school or anything like that, this is only available through Tampa School of Real Estate. We do not resell our MP3 audio review. If you want the best MP3 audio review, go to mp3audioreview.com because that's our MP3 audio review. But what it does, so at 5 hours, it's a little bit longer than most other audio reviews that are out there, but it's still a manageable time frame. So 63 hours to go through the pre-licensing course. If you want to repeat that entire course, you could go through this MP3 12 times. You could go through this MP3 12 times. 12 times 5 is 60. You go through this 12 times, and the time it would take you to repeat the entire course just once. Now, how are we able to cut so much information out of it? Am I just talking super fast to be able to speed up all that? No, it's not the case. With this MP3 auto review, this hones in on the most important key points. Again, you don't need to know everything. It's just certain things that you need to know really well. And those certain things you want to have on repeat and listen again and again and again and again. And again, this emphasizes the most important key points. Now, again, if you're walking into this brand new, maybe you haven't taken the course yet, maybe you haven't done any studying yet, I highly recommend that you start out before anything else with that MP3 audio review, because that's going to point you in the right direction for what topics are most important out of each section. And there'll be some sections that are very long in that review, and then some sections that are really short. And again, it's based off of what percentage of that is going to end up on the actual exam. Now, with this MP3 audio review, again, the repetition is the key. So you hear it again and again and again and again. And a nice little hack, a little trick you could use with this is putting this on your way to the testing center. So when you're driving to the testing center, you get your mind thinking about real estate. You put that on, you listen to that while you're driving to the testing center, and it'll make everything it is that you're studying more memorable. Our mind is very associative, so anything we can do to start recalling memories, this will help do that. So that's our MP3 audio review. Now, this is the number one place I'd recommend that you start when you're studying for your exam. But in addition to the MP3 audio review, what you also want to do now, because this is just basic key points, and you're not going to see probably more than maybe 5 questions on your exam that are just basic recall. So most of the questions on the exam are not about you just recalling the information. It's about, number 1, recalling it, but number 2, applying it to the question. And that's how they have so many questions they pull from. It's not that they're asking about so many different topics. What's in that MP3 audio review, that should cover probably, there might be a few things, one or two things here and there that maybe it doesn't touch on in that MP3 audio review, but you might have take that exam and every single thing they're testing on at some level is covered in that MP3 audio review. Because there's certain topics that they're testing on. It's not 5,000 questions from 5,000 different concepts you need to know. It's 5,000 or 6,000 or however many questions the state exam actually pulls from. It's all rumor of how many questions they have, but it's thousands of them. It's a bunch of different questions, but asked about the same topic. So that's why knowing the key points are so important first and foremost. But now moving into step number 3, you need to be able to test your knowledge. And you could test your knowledge on the exam, but you're not going to like it if you find out from the exam that you weren't prepared for the exam. So you want to practice ahead of time with testing your knowledge. Now, this is always secondary to making sure you've got the key points down. Maybe you've already been studying the key points really well. Maybe you've already, been maybe reviewing highlights or reviewing the summary sections of your textbook, or maybe you've got little like PDF like cheat sheet things or whatnot from your online course, or whatever the case may be, that you've studied the basic concepts. And this is where we see a lot of students that, they'll do this, maybe they'll do flashcards, they'll do something that reinforces those key points. So they're remembering the key points, but now comes time to apply those key points in a question. And applying those in the question is going to be more difficult than just recalling that key point. And that's what makes this exam a little bit more difficult, is you have to recall that information and then apply it. And most of the questions on the exam are going to be application-based. 90 to 95% of them are going to be application-based. So it's not just about recalling, it's about being able to apply those questions. But it's all about those simple concepts that you're reinforcing in step 2. So you move on to test your knowledge. And now, this is another mistake I see a lot of students make. That maybe the way they go about studying is just going straight to practice questions. And it's an understandable mistake to go straight into practice questions and study that practice questions, or to get hung up on that practice question. It makes sense that, the exam is questions, so I should do questions to be prepared for the exam. But it's not studying the questions, it's using the questions. That's what you want to do with practice questions. You don't want to study the questions, you want to use the questions. You use the questions to tell you what key points you need to go back and reinforce. So, with the MP3, it's going to cover all those basic key points, nice and simple, nice and easy, but then you need to apply those in the more complex question. So you use this question to see if you know that key point, and when you get a question wrong, don't try to memorize that question. That's probably the number one mistake. That's the worst thing you could do studying for this exam, is just memorizing practice questions. Because number one, you might see a question or two that are similar to the questions you see on the exam, but you'll never see a question that's identical. Because if there's any question that too many people are getting right on the exam because that question maybe somehow became available, maybe somebody remembered it after they took the exam and they put it out there, the state of Florida monitors these things. They have psychometricians that monitor the exam, and if too many people get it right, they say, that question's too easy, we've got to pull it. We've got to go revise it. We've got to do something like that. So you're not going to see that same question on the exam. Now, you probably will see questions that are similar, maybe a little bit different wording, maybe a little bit different way they're asking it, but it's asking about that same key point. I could guarantee you they'll ask about certain key points, but I can't guarantee you how they're going to ask them. And that's why you want to use these practice questions, so you move beyond just being able to recall information, but now being able to apply the concepts in the context of an exam question. So you use these questions to see what key points you need to go back and review. And what we recommend for this is our question simulator. This is a really powerful tool that we built. Again, this is something proprietary to the Tampa School of Real Estate, so any other question bank that are out there, I don't think you're going to find a more accurate question bank than our question simulator that's more up-to-date, that's more current, that's more pertinent to your exam. A lot of these question exam prep systems are designed for the entire United States, but the problem in Florida is so different than most other states for the way that we practice real estate and the laws that we have. So a lot of times if you're studying off of maybe some sort of nationwide program or anything like that, that you end up, there's a disconnect between what's legal in one state but is illegal in Florida, or what's important in another state that doesn't matter in Florida, or what's not important in another state but super important here in Florida. But what also makes this question simulator so powerful, not just because we curated that content ourselves, instructors at the Tampa School of Real Estate, but that it also immediately gives you feedback, so that way right there in the moment you get a detailed explanation so you could correct your understanding. And, you know, if you get a bunch of questions wrong, that maybe says, okay, go back and reinforce those key points in that chapter again. But if you only get one or two questions wrong, you could correct your understanding right there in the moment as you answer those questions. So you get those aha moments and you realize, oh, that's why this is the way it is. So that's where you want to move to next. Now, chances are, if you've already done some studying, if you've been reviewing, rereading stuff, going through key points, that's where you want to move into doing test questions, because that's going to show you how you need to go back. And you can't be afraid to go back and backtrack, because that's what testing your knowledge is designed to do. Doing the practice questions will tell you what you need to go back and review and revisit in order to be prepared for the exam. Now, if you're getting all the questions right and you're honestly getting them right, you know the answers, you should be pretty well prepared. But now, again, using this as like a diagnostic tool to find out what it is that you're doing wrong, you might still not be 100% confident. And that's really the most important fourth step, is to be confident and prepared. So if you're not confident that you know this information, you're going to second guess yourself. You'll find using good practice questions, you'll definitely find using the question simulator practice questions, that there's wrong answers that sound really convincing. And that's what makes something a difficult question. Not that you could just recall the information, but it makes you think about it and makes you wonder, is that really the right answer? Is that really the way it is? That's a good question. That's a question that's really testing your knowledge to see if you could really apply what's most important. And if you're not confident, you'll end up second guessing yourself. And that's why so many people end up not passing this state exam for Florida, because they design this exam. Again, those psychometricians, the people that have PhDs in designing exams, they're the ones who are making the questions for this exam. And they booby-trap the exam with common sense answers, because the Florida Real Estate Commission wants to make sure you know the difference between what the general public or what your common sense might think is okay versus what the law actually says is okay. And there's a lot of times where you'll go through learning this information and it seems like the law would contradict what common sense would tell you. And that's the point. There are laws that go against what you think would be okay, depending on what your, basis is. But there's a lot of things that you'll find going through that course that go against your common sense. And if you're not confident that you know that the law says this, then you might second guess yourself. You might pick one of those wrong answers because you weren't sure of yourself. And so what we've recommended for really the icing on the cake to really kind of bring this all together is our weekend prep class. And we recently started recording these because we got to the point where we were selling out our 60-person classroom month after month after month after month, weeks in advance sometimes. And there was a lot of people that weren't able to access our weekend prep class. So we made this available through a recording, an on-demand recording. And what this does is you don't have to sit around and wait for a weekend prep class. You could sign up for the on-demand recording and get the weekend prep class right now. You could start with the weekend prep class right now. Now, I always recommend the weekend prep class as the final step, because in that weekend prep class, this is designed to help make you confident, but this isn't designed to teach you the information. It gives you more explanation than the MP3 would. I mean, the weekend prep class, it's like 16 hours of video across a Saturday and Sunday. It's a recording of our actual weekend prep class, and this isn't just like some crappy little webcam recording. If you haven't noticed, with the way we do things here at the Tampa School of Real Estate, we do things at a very high production level, and that's the way we've got with our weekend prep class. Crystal clear audio. It's better, really, than sitting there in the class, because if you got to get up to use the bathroom, you just pause it, and then you go use the bathroom, you come back, and you resume it. Or if, 16 hours is a lot to go through in just one weekend. So maybe you want to space that out a little bit. Maybe your schedule's a little bit busier. Maybe you're not available on the weekend. Hey, that's where our recording, our on-demand recording, you can find that at liveprepclass.com. So liveprepclass.com, that's got the entire recording of the whole weekend. We mail you out the exam manual. If you don't already have that exam manual yet, that is included in the price. We give you a little bit of a discount if you already have that exam manual, but if you don't have it, we'll mail that out to you free of charge, or you can expedite the shipping if you want to get it right away, or you can even come pick that up from us here in New Tampa. If you've got questions on any of that, give us a call, of course. This one is a little bit more complicated because it's really our biggest exam prep tool that we have, and this is just very recently that we started offering this as a recorded version. And this is after years of us honing what we do in our weekend prep class to make it the most effective time spent possible. But you always want to do the weekend prep class last. Before you do the weekend prep class, really that's why we have these in order. This is the order of importance. Start with number one. You have to take the pre-licensing course, so get that pre-licensing course if you haven't done it already. But then you want to move into understanding and remembering those basic key points. And that's where first, before you do anything else, the MP3 audio review. And then you want to move into testing your knowledge, using the practice questions in the question simulator. And you might be good right there, or maybe you feel like you need a little bit more to make you confident and prepared, and that's where you want to get our live prep class. This is exactly how we do it in person. It's in the exact same order we do it in person. There's some practice quizzes that are in there that we work through with it and explain things going through that. So that live prep class, it's really great, but you don't want to start out with that because this is a very interactive system. This is a very interactive system, and the live prep class, even if you're here in the prep class in person, it's not really that interactive. It is to a certain extent, because what you'll notice going through that live prep class is what I'm doing for the most part is polling. I'm constantly polling, and we're polling by studying that I might have some sort of concept that I ask about. Like, for example, I might say, what form of concurrent ownership does not have right of survivorship? And I'd ask that question, and usually what happens in the class is everybody choruses in all together, and you from home watching that on your computer, your tablet, your phone could respond back, oh yeah, that's a tenancy in common when there's no right of survivorship. And if you got that, you've got that down, you could mark that in your book. I explain all completely how to use that live prep class, but before you do the live prep class, again, this is the order. You can't take your exam without doing the pre-licensing course, but before you do any other studying tools, start with that MP3 audio review. Now, if you've already done a really good job reinforcing those key points, but you're looking for more, that's where you want to move on to testing your knowledge. But let's say you've already done some reinforcement, you've already tested your knowledge, you've already done some practice questions, and you're looking for that more, that's where the live prep class comes in. And if you're looking to get all this together, we actually have some really great packages that'll save you a ton of money if you combine these study tools together. So that way you're getting everything it is that we have to offer. So if you want to get one of those packages, give us a call. The phone number is 813-333-2676. Again, that's 813-333-2676. We currently don't have these packages available on our website, so if you do want to save some money and combine these together, you do have to call us. We will have that on the website soon, so maybe by the time you're watching the recording of this video, that's available at passfirsttry.com. But this is something so new that we just started offering. We started bundling these together because these tools are all great on their own, but they're the most powerful when they're together. And we've been seeing such great results when people are combining these tools together that we started offering these packages. So again, call us up at 813-333-2676. You can actually even text us in your result sheet from the state exam. So if you already took the state exam and you have that result sheet that gives you the breakdown of what chapters you missed, you could take a picture of that and text it to that same number, and we'll give you a free kind of diagnosis of telling you, which tools it is that we recommend. We'll ask you some questions like, what have you been doing to study? How many times you've you've taken the exam, how long ago did you take the course, and we'll give you our recommendations based on where it is that you're at in this process and what it is that we recommend that you do. We're here to help you. We want to see you pass your exam. Even if you didn't take the class with us, we want to help you get to passing that exam, because we know once you see the things it is that we stand for and the things it is that we do, that you'll be a student of ours for the rest of your real estate career. And we want you to have a successful real estate career, and it all starts off with getting your real estate license. So look, that's about all the time we've got for today. So again, if you've got questions on any of the products that we have available for preparing for your real estate exam, call us. Again, that phone number is 813-333-2676. You can find more details about the Pass First Try strategy at passfirsttry.com. But other than that, that's what we got for you today. Make sure you tune in on Friday for State of Real Estate. That's our business mastermind. So once you've got your real estate license, you want to be able to make some money with that real estate license, and that's what we talk about on Fridays. State of Real Estate at same time, same place, 12 noon on Friday, and we cover how to grow your real estate business. Not just, stuff you need to know to pass your exam. That's more what we cover on Wednesdays and on Fridays. We're going to grow your real estate business. We're going to help you make some money. So tune in on Friday. Hit the subscribe button, the like button, the follow button, the notification button, so that way you don't miss any of the live streams it is that we do, because we've got all kinds of great information for you that'll really help you jumpstart your real estate career, whether it's getting your real estate license or getting money now with that real estate license. So again, if you got questions, 813-333-2676. That's all the time we've got for today. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Hey, so if you're thinking about starting a real estate career, it could feel a little overwhelming sometimes. Look, that's completely understandable. That's why we're here to help. If you haven't already, check out our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success, or if you don't even know where to begin, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. We've got advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that we can. Our phone number is 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. Give us a call. We're the Tampa School of Real Estate. Do you want a career that allows you to be in control? With a career in real estate, you'll get to call the shots. Whether you're looking at starting part-time or want to become the next top agent, a career in real estate makes it possible. Find out what it takes at tampaschool.com. Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com. Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Chrisma with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can. Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.